Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, Bold Explorer, out on another stroll today with the lovely Richard Suggett. Hello Richard.
Hello Richard.
How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
You've got the afternoon off work?
I have, but we don't tell anybody that.
No, of course not.
Our little secret.
It's not really an afternoon off work. We're going to take a little stroll. You may know that I am away at the moment, so I've just been filming lots of little videos to cover the fact that I'm away working. Yeah, I do work occasionally, you know. So Richard, we've got this lovely pavilion thing behind us. I guess that's a cricket pavilion. We're on a lovely green. Where are we?
We are near the George in Burpham.
Ah, yes,
Lovely
Burpham. That's in West Sussex, close to Arundel. But we're on the east side of the river.
That's right, yes.
At the moment, and there's a terrific view going to our east, down of Wepham, I think that is.
Looks about right, yes, I'd say so.
Now, we sort of conceived a little walk, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
There was we looked at the map and we thought, where should we go? We'll just do a quick little stroll and bring something for the viewers to look at. And we noticed an interesting thing on a map. What did we notice? We
noticed a moat.
Ah, yes. If you look at OS maps, very often you see these interesting little features which, you know, they're not really necessarily shouting at you as a place to go and view, but there's like a historic element to it.
Yes.
And a moat is quite intriguing because we don't know for sure, but a moat could mean many things.
Yeah. And this one looks to be alongside a river, so is it related? Let's find out.
Yeah. So it could be a moat round an old house. It could be a moat that was to keep livestock in, or perhaps, in view that it was by the River Arun, maybe it's defending something. We'll see what there is, see if there's a moat still in existence. Meanwhile, we're walking along the Burr itself. Mr. Suggett has just very kindly opened up the little gate, and I think we've got to walk away that way, because that just goes to a seat. Actually, there's a little seat round here, look. You can get a nice viewing platform.
Let's have a look at the view.
Nice view?
Lovely view. What do you think?
I think that's a gorgeous view, yeah. The trees have grown up a little bit around here, but otherwise it's a rather peaceful scene. Hear the crows, can't we?
Yeah, a great place to come and sit down with some sandwiches for lunch.
We haven't got time for that, Mr. Suggett.
No, I know.
No, we're going to go and look for a moat. Come on. Public footpath, two ways, left or right?
I'm going to go right.
I'm going to go right with you.
Good idea.
Yeah, because I think this is the route we need to do.
Yeah.
We're just coming down, and hopefully, if our calculations are right, you can see our shadows there, we should have the river now on our left. It's a nice little wooded walk. I have done a video about Burpham before and explained about the fact that this was one of King Arthur's burr towns, hence Burpham.
Oh right.
And the bit that we walked over, and the green, the sort of jutty-outy bit, is where the original settlement would have been. The Saxons would have gone. It's true. The thing about the burr towns is they were specifically built in defensive positions. So, as you can see behind us, look, there's a big rise, and the whole of Burpham, or the original part of Burpham, because the current village is set a bit further back, is where the settlement was, and the reason was obviously so they could defend it from Vikings.
Of course.
Because that was the Vikings were coming in, and these burr towns were set roughly a day's march apart.
Right.
About 15 miles.
Wow.
And there was a whole network of them. They're not all obvious, but they are there, and you can actually plot them on a map, the towns that were King Alfred's burr towns.
This is very interesting. I never knew all that.
So check out the Burpham video. In fact, I'll bung a link, if I remember, down in the description. Otherwise, just search on YouTube for Bold Explorer Burpham. Anyway, we're going through. You can imagine up this slope here. You know, it would have been hard, like back in the Iron Age times when they built the hill forts.
Definitely. Can you imagine having an army stood at the top as you're attacking?
Yes. Yes. And also, the other thing is that, of course, you'd have the main settlement there, but very often farmers and people like that, they weren't all stuck within that. They had their farms spread out. But if there was an attack, it was a safe haven to go to.
Right, yes.
That was the concept.
It's similar to how castles were originally conceived as well in many ways.
Yeah, well, at this point, because the Normans hadn't come in.
Yeah.
So it's probably not an original design. Right, we've got a bit of water, ladies and gentlemen. But this is not the main Arun, but it's obviously a tributary. But look at those reeds over there. It's rather beautiful.
Yeah, well, what I noticed on the map was there was like a loop. I don't know if it was man dug out an extra loop just to...
Oh, well, this is obviously that.
Could be.
And like a fool, I left the map in the car.
Ah.
Don't tell anyone. They won't know.
We better not get lost.
No, we know where we're going. There's a little outlet here of water, just whilst we've got a moment. Just down there. I don't know if you can hear the sound of it. It's very peaceful. Probably more likely to hear the crows. Very ominous sound, isn't it, crows?
It is. It's very quiet here, though, isn't
it? There's not a soul. The aeroplanes. Can't hear the road. It's one of those places you can't hear the road because the road to Burpham is a dead end.
Yep.
And it's a windy, wiggly road, isn't it?
It's very narrow in places as well, isn't it?
20 miles an hour. Right, let's see if we can find this moat. Mr. Suggett.
Mr. Vobes.
I think we may have found it.
I think so. Looks like it, doesn't it?
We've come down by the river, which is just over there towards the sunshine. It joins and goes parallel or past the railway line, and then we follow this hedge. And the thing is, before we get in there, we're just teasing you a little bit, is we weren't quite sure, were we?
No.
We looked at your phone and you got the satellite images.
That's right, yeah.
And then clearly visible was this impression on the ground.
Yeah.
And then we thought we may not be able to get to it because it's on private land. It looked like that. And then suddenly, here in front of us is a little gap, and we're going to come through to what now you can see. If you didn't know what it was, you wouldn't get that, but there is still enough of an indentation to show you the contours of the moat. You can see it goes up ahead, turns left, there's a bank there, and it's a big square with some old oak trees. I'm going to just circumnavigate this to get a real sense of where we are. And of course it's big enough to have housed livestock, or like the one in Pulborough, which is a similar site, well, not quite as big as the one in Pulborough, that is a bit bigger, but you could quite happily have seen perhaps in the 11th and 12th century, when such moats were really being used, a house here. And I'm guessing that's exactly what was here. Some lovely old oaks. They may not be quite old enough, but they might be. You can see there ahead of us that indentation. That is definitely the channel of the moat. The moat would have been used for something. You don't build a moat for no reason. You know, moats aren't necessarily full of water. You would have had plenty of dry moats, but here, with the proximity to the river, why wouldn't you?
And who knows, the river may have changed its course since this was here.
Yes.
It may have even been closer.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Let's carry on a little bit more. I'm very eager to see these oak trees, which look very resplendent. They've been here a significant time, and it's interesting they're perched on the banks. Let's come through here, these two sentinels, and then there's one on the other side which looks the mother of all of them, to be honest with you. Come round this side. The footpath goes right through it, actually, because ahead of me I can see another sign, and actually you're directed through this moat, so you're not on private land, or you've got permissible access to it. Look at this. Now this one must have been here 500, 600, 700 years. You may not quite get the size of it. Mr. Suggett, would you stand by the trunk? Okay, even there it looks through the lens, it looks there, that's better. You get a real significant idea of how big that is. I mean, it's colossal, isn't it?
It's huge. I mean, I'm not exactly a small person, am I? And it's
no. It would take
huge.
4 of you to put hand to hand, I reckon.
I reckon so, yeah.
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 I wonder what that says.
A few hundred years old, by far.
Well, Mr. Suggett, there it is. Thoughts?
I'm absolutely shocked we found it, to be honest. I didn't
Are
think we
you?
were going to at one point.
No, you know, you go on these little jaunts, and often you can be very disappointed.
Yeah.
Because it is just a little scarring in the map. And again, if you hadn't known it was there, you'd walk past this and not perhaps opened your eyes
Yeah.
and realised.
Yeah.
The signs are here. The trees are on the perimeter.
Yeah.
So the chances are they were here, even if they were very young.
Or they're descendants of what
Or
was it.
descendants, yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for watching. It's been an absolute joy. It came out better than I thought. What an interesting thing. Come and investigate if you can. It's on a public footpath. Meanwhile, Mr. Suggett, thank you.
No, thank you.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, all the usual things. Become a patron. Put some money in the coffers so that we... Coffers, even. Put some coppers in the coffers so that we can go further afield and explore more. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Till the next time, take care one and all. Bye for now. Gonna go for a swim in the moat?
I'm looking at that hay bale and thinking of playing in that.
All right, fair enough. Off you go.